Welcome to another episode of Talking Busch. I'm Derek Hartman. Dave Pikus is off tonight.
Again.
Thank God.
Hold on, guys. We got.
God,
hold
all
on.
he does is just drag us down.
We have technical difficulties here again.
Ooh, that's loud.
Let's see here.
What is that?
You guys are echoing. So we're getting two.
This is not the way to start this off, Matt.
I know. Well, like I said, this damn Skype update is just killing me here.
Well, if need be, you can certainly cut me loose.
It has nothing to
The
do
show
with
must go on.
Well, you're making me sick by moving around so much.
Well, I'm sorry. I have to let the dog out.
Yeah, you got to do that. Are we pausing? Are we starting over?
Don't know.
Okay.
Play a little music in the background just in case.
What is happening?
You're only going to have me for about a half hour, so.
We need to get to it.
All right. Give her a treat, Jeff.
Okay, I think we're actually okay.
I think it sounds okay.
And don't put peanut butter on your balls.
Check. Shut up. Well, come on.
I mean, we're definitely getting echo in our headset, but as long as it's not coming through on the broadcast, then that's okay.
Yep.
All right.
So you guys
what
go.
are we? So are we still live, or what happened?
Yep, we're rolling.
Oh wow.
Thanks for sticking with us, everybody.
As Bert
Coming to you live.
once said, and we're live. Okay.
Holy cows! That was like. Good thing we don't have sponsors, because that was such dead air. Did Jeff just die? What is happening?
Yeah, Jeff's gone.
Oh my God, this is such a train wreck. After I was.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Dave is probably laughing right now. He's gonna be like, yeah, I'm dead weight.
One night off, and it's a disaster.
This thing is just off the rails. We're just barely hanging on.
Well, let's should we
We're
just
short
get
on
right
time,
into
are
it
we
then?
not? Let's get into it, shall we?
What the hell happened to the Vikings and their defense? My God.
Really, you gotta start out so depressing.
I want to know. I would like some answer. How you can go from being so good to so terrible. And
So to that point, you guys, how worth it was Kirk Cousins? How good does our offense look first? Case Keenum is starting to look like Case Keenum in Denver. And Kirk Cousins, if we didn't have Kirk Cousins, I don't think we would have won a game at this point, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins has definitely been good enough. Problem is the defense.
Right. Defense is,
Trying to start off on a positive note, Matt.
Well, I know, but we're supposed to be winning Super Bowls, Jeff, not 1, 2, and 1.
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, it's, how do you can't put your finger on it. Your supposed, one of the best cornerbacks in the league is looking very mediocre right now. You got your two linebackers who are Pro Bowlers are not looking very good right now.
No.
Your star defensive end is having mental breakdowns. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is Vikings football to a T, and it all started, in my opinion, with the sad and tragic passing of Tony Sperano. As soon as that happened,
That's right.
had a thought in my mind, like, when things like this happen in sports, nothing usually good comes out of it. If it does, it's a miracle. But as soon as that sad day happened, it was like, here we go. There's going to be... Go ahead.
The they're missing is they really, really miss that leadership of Terrence Newman on the field. Even though he's not,
But he's right there on the sideline.
But he's not on the field getting guys lined up. He's not calling the defenses.
And maybe Brian Robinson?
Yep. I think they're missing that veteran leadership along with Everson Griffin.
It doesn't help. It can't help, right?
No,
Nope.
but I don't think Newman is putting, Mackenzie Alexander in the right spot and say, here, buddy, you're going right here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, frankly, Mackenzie Alexander's been very mediocre at best, right?
Yeah, and, Mike Hughes is hot and cold. He's a rookie. You're going to have that. That happens.
On the contrary, Jared Goff, is he for real?
I don't know. I don't know what to say about any quarterback in the NFL right now, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
It seems so messed up.
Especially against the Vikings defense. Because look at Josh Allen against the Vikings. He looked like a perennial Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he did. And then he got shut out against the Packers.
Yeah, he looked lost, like a deer in the headlights.
So I was going, the quarterback stats, people are talking about them a lot already, but through 4 weeks, passing touchdowns in the NFL since 2011 ranged from 194 to 205 over the 7-year period. 228 this year.
Great.
228. There are 5 quarterbacks ever that have passed for over 5,000 yards. There are 8 quarterbacks in the league right now on pace to do that.
We got one of them.
This does happen in the NFL, though. It does sometimes take a while for the defenses to catch up. You always see, through the years.
Doesn't the defense usually start better, though?
Last year, I recall we started off slow and started trending up. This year, we started off with a bang, but it'll simmer down.
I think it comes back to the pack, at least some.
It's got a long way to come back. There was 5 guys in the NFL last week that passed for over 400 yards.
That's crazy.
And these, in terms of passing, pass interference, and how the receivers and cornerbacks are playing, there's no change in that. The only difference is how you can hit the quarterbacks.
Yep.
Has to play into it.
Yep. Vikings this week, is it a must-win?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Every week from now on is a must-win.
No, it's not, because the Bears
lead.
Well,
then by definition, it wouldn't be a must-win if every game is a must-win.
Yeah. The Bears lead our division. They're not that good. Their defense is tough, but it is what it is. And it's early on. For teams go on 10-game winning streaks in the NFL, every year someone does it. We did it last year. We were 2-2 last year. It's not a must-win. We're against what you think would be a pretty decent Eagles team on the road, I think.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Not a must-win, but it sure would be nice to get one.
John,
hey, man, if you're Slick Rick, looking back on it, do you send 2 first-rounders for Khalil Mack for our defense?
No.
We need those for linemen.
And we've got so much horsepower on defense. We've got so much money on defense, high draft picks. You got to coach them up, man. Khalil Mack is a great player, obviously, and if he's available, you ought to take a look at it. But in our position, it was not our area of need.
I agree. And to go back to the quarterback stats, I saw an interesting stat the other day. I don't know the relevance of it because you're taking the career span of Joe Montana and comparing it to the first 4 weeks of the NFL. But it was kind of interesting because, Joe Montana played, 79 to about 93. He's got about, I think, 23,000 passing yards, maybe a little more than that. He threw for 100 and some touchdowns. Through week 4, all the cumulative quarterbacks in the NFL have already matched Joe Montana's career passing numbers across the board for completion percentage, everything. It's just ridiculous the amount of numbers that are flying out. And what I was telling Derek before is, the intimidation factor is pretty much gone with quarterbacks. Brett Favre used to come into the Metrodome. He would play like crap, and that's because he had John Randall in his face, and he just didn't play well in the Metrodome because he's getting smacked around. Nowadays, that doesn't happen because you can't just 2 seconds later run up and smack a quarterback and kind of get the happy feet, so to speak, in the pocket anymore. They're uncomfortable. They can't set up and make accurate throws, and nowadays they can do that because they know if they get hit, they're going to get a penalty more than likely.
Cool story, Hansel.
Thanks man.
Well, yeah, and it has to play into it. It just absolutely has to. It's the glaring difference in this year's NFL versus all other years.
So, John, you went to a Twins game this weekend. Is that true?
I did, and I think you went to a Twins game too.
I did.
Wow.
And I don't know about you, but I got a sweet ass hat out of the deal.
So did I. It was so worth it, and I didn't realize I was going to be watching Joe Mauer's second to last game, but it was well worth the trip. We got some awesome grumpy old men, Walter Matthau style Twins hats, and there was about 5,000 people in attendance. It was a 10,000 hat giveaway. So
Game 2 of that night probably got hats too.
I think so. You know, and I mean, if we didn't have such commitment to go to Barrel Theory afterwards, we probably could have got Zubas too, because I'm pretty sure they would have let us just stay there.
I think so. Yeah. What'd you think about Barrel Theory, by the way?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So jealous of the brewmaster's creativity of naming his beers. It just makes me strive to do that myself. I mean, so many things, so many ideas just going there. It was awesome. Their beer is awesome. The atmosphere was awesome. Can't say enough good things about it. So
we can start that brewery, John. We can do it.
We can do it. Play Starship. We can build this thing together. Standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
You guys sound like you had a nice little date.
We did, we were joined. We had some nice company. Dave Pikus stopped in, made an appearance.
Menage a trois.
I think I did check in with Matt Train, but he was on a lover's getaway.
There we go.
That's true. Yep, that's true. You did.
I did. So
I
you
was
can't
invited
even
to
throw
join
that in
the
my
orgy.
face, you
I
dick.
had to pass.
You were gonna throw that in my face.
How was the lovers getaway?
It was good. It was good. This is we camped in Sibley, New London, Minnesota. Beautiful, God's country,
Thanks
some call
for
it.
the invite.
Well, and that's what you said when you texted me to go to Barrel Theory, and I told you that I was in New London, your old stomping ground, and mine.
Right. Yep.
And yeah, it was. There was no other people invited by intent, so sorry.
Awesome.
We had things to do.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
Let's get into the Week 4 recap. As far as the matchup of the week goes, it was pretty much over before it even got started.
Yeah, the Jeff King train keeps on rolling. That 165.1 he put up is going to be in the conversation probably for top 10 scorers since the in the 12-team era, depending on how this thing rolls out. If points do come down, it'll probably be
right up
top 5 or so, I would guess.
Yep.
So
I mean, he won 165.1 to 109.5. Just obliteration. Goff 39.
Yep.
Kamara 38.
Yeah, Kamara is the second coming of Marshall Faulk, except he's probably better than Marshall Faulk.
He might be.
Yeah.
Whoa. Put that down.
Dude.
That's a bold statement.
Dude,
That is a bold statement.
It's crazy. He's
so good. He's so good.
The biggest fear that I would have is that they're running him into the ground.
Yep.
That would be the biggest fear that I have.
Which he's going to get a little break now.
Yeah. With Ingram coming back, it'll probably help. But what's he, 30 touches a game, 35 touches a game?
Yeah. I saw that a stat that Thielen is on pace to break the NFL record for catches.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara has the same number of catches as Thielen.
Are you serious?
Isn't that?
That's just crazy.
I saw that number actually. 40 catches, I think, through 4 games, and Kamara has 40. Huh? Holy crap!
Yep, just wild.
He better hope that Drew Brees plays till he's 48. That's all I gotta say.
What about Teddy?
I love Teddy, but Teddy is not Drew Brees. Drew Brees is just a freak. Like,
he
makes
is.
me wish that we would have rolled the dice on him back in 2005.
But with Sean Payton, Kamara and Ingram in the backfield, Michael Thomas on the outside, that's some weapons, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lesser quarterback could do some damage in that system, I think.
Yep. The Lords did not look so good this week.
No.
They looked awfully common man.
Yeah, common man is being generous.
Dumpster Fire 109.1, the Lords 91.4.
Dumpster Fire's got a little swagger in his step now that he's above
getting a little
average.
cocky.
Yeah, he's
Look
above
at this
average.
guy,
right
yeah.
now.
Can you believe that guy? Like,
Yes.
he just comes out of nowhere.
Once every 10 years, now he decides to pay attention.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even giving him the benefit of I think he was paying attention before.
Yes.
I think he just sucks. But
I think you're right.
I think he just sucks at fantasy football.
It's like he has this is, like I said last week, this is the one time I would give him a free, like I would probably be easy on him because he's building a house, he's got baby number 3 on the way any day now. Like this is the one time of his whole entire fantasy career I'd be like, you know what, Drew, you suck, but it's okay, I understand. No, this is the year he's actually trying to be somebody. It's like, what the hell, man? What is going on?
But let's keep this in perspective here. It's not like he's lighting the world on fire. He's average.
No.
He's extremely average. Yep. It's just relatively compared to his usual performance.
Not the typical dumpster fire.
No, it's not. It's not. So good for you, Drew.
Yeah, way to go, Drew.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, he got 27 out of Melvin Gordon. Any traders regret, John?
Did you see the combined score I got for what he gave me? I think I win.
We'll go with John for the most improvement out of the week. All of a sudden, he looks like he has a squad. 111.3 to 97 over the Peppy kids.
I am committed to making this team better.
Yeah.
And I think my spending shows it. So you do not have to worry, Mr. Commissioner, about any fees, anything like that.
The pace that this thing's going on. By the way, Jen, can you turn off your camera and try and turn it back on for me? It looks like we lost you a while back.
Okay.
Yeah, and the pace that Jeff has been on, Jeff is
5 more additions this week for Jeff.
Was it 5?
5.
Okay.
15 total for the league.
For Jeff or for John?
5 for Jeff.
Yep.
15 total
for the league. Okay.
That's a light week for me, just so you know.
Well, you've been more restrained, Jeff, this year than in previous years.
Yeah.
It's because he's in love.
Yeah, but look he's top scorer 3 out of 4 weeks so far without all the transactions. So maybe he's learning.
I made one mistake. I let off the brakes week 2, and it cost me against Hartman, and that pissed me off.
Well, you're still in good shape. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
John, James White had 27 this week. That looks like a hell of a throw-in for you.
Yeah, that was nice. And Diggsy, he had a nice week too. So
That's
thanks, Drew, for making that trade.
Sony Michel looks pretty good too.
He does, but that's New England's game.
Yeah, but you don't have 2 bell horse running backs in New England. You have 3 touchdowns from Michel one week, and then you have 2 from.
Yeah, the thing about that is James White's going to catch passes.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to be what Deion Lewis was. He's going to be what they always have, some sort of Danny Woodhead, some scat back. You know, that's
what's the stats on Rex Burkhead? Is he out or what's the deal?
They put him
he's on
IR.
injured reserve.
Yeah.
He's done, huh?
So it's basically Michel is going to tote the rock in the running game, and James White is going to be out of the backfield receiving, which is totally fine with me. And yeah, we're rolling, baby.
Well, you also need to have the version of the Patriots that win 38-0.
It's true.
And not the version that scores 7 points against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got tough defense, but
yeah, Jeff Bottom, Grief Top is on the rise, my friend.
You have awful lot of points on the bench, though. Is it going to get in your head that you're going to play the wrong guys?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think Matt and I have had this conversation about Amari Cooper is basically Trevor Sapir. It's so roller coaster. Like, if you look at his stats the last 4 weeks, he has a 2-point game and then a 16-point game and then a 2-point game and a 22-point game. So he's got to be on the downslope against the Chargers, which that's a division game. I just see that not going very well for him. So he's on the bench. Dalvin, he's obviously on a pitch count, so we're not even going to worry about him. So not overthinking it this week. It's pretty clear cut and dry lineup set. Who's your daddy? What's up?
You're coming. Speaking of Trevor and up and down, he wins this week. Low scoring affair. 93.4 to 88.9 over Tima Ponte. Tima Ponte is on life support, man.
Yeah, and all of us liked Max.
It's true. He was
coming
one of my favorite
coming out of the
teams
draft, and yeah, it's not looking good. Although
you get for drafting Leonard Fournette. He's cursed. Fucking cursed.
I do have a question for everybody. If Leonard Fournette was dropped today, do you pick him up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would.
Wouldn't even hesitate.
Yep. Yep.
I will say this. I think Matt needs to go back into just belittling Max's team as much as possible, because that's when Max actually thrived.
Motivation.
So I think Matt, if you just start cutting his team down at the knees, like maybe he'll. Well, actually, I hope he keeps losing, because the less I have to deal with him, the better. I want that division title. Want it so bad I can taste it. So.
Yeah.
Trevor got over half of his points this week from two guys, Hopkins and Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt stealing that game-winning touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. It's just not right. Adam easily covered my predicted spread of 30 this week. Beats Dave 141.8 to 93.7. When's Dave going to check out? Is this it? Is he done?
I don't know. Two absences from the podcast.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably as much my fault with my busy schedule and me hosting the podcast as it is his, but you got to wonder. And that junior division, not so bad this year.
No, it's really not.
I mean, it's not great, but
well, we got Dave at the bottom.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, it's better than most years.
Meatloaf has a song. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Matt, do you have a recap for the week as far as what the league did as far as total points, or?
This was third highest or I guess second lowest of the 4 weeks so far. Still right around 108 points per game. As a league, we're still averaging 108.1, something like that. I think this week was 107.2 or something. But the point totals are strong. And right now, the question that I have is this the most top-heavy league we've ever seen? We've got 3 teams averaging above 120 points per game, and it's. I think if you look at this week, there's the average score. There might have been 3 or 4 teams that were above the average.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable question, but also the parity. Have you looked at the spreads for this week?
Yeah, this week we'll see what. Yes, I hear you, and we'll see how that comes to fruition. But man, 143 points a game out of Jeff, 122 out of both Hart men, and the rest of the league. Frankly, I mean, it's one with the bullet, 2A, 2B, and then there's everybody else. So,
I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah, you would be.
We got to talk about one thing: the trade.
Of course.
A lot of.
Who wants to start on this?
A lot
this
of
robbery.
Hold on. Let's take a vote. Jeff, you're not included.
Yeah.
Derek, who do you think got the better of the trade?
I think it was a win-win for both teams, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not mind the trade for Jeff.
Yeah.
I thought he added top-line players or player.
Mm-hmm.
Traded depth for a good starter. He had 0 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I said it when the season started. Jeff has 0 starting wide receivers for fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
He has one now.
And he's got Emmanuel Sanders looks good because Case Keenum likes him.
And if Mitch Trubisky can throw 6 touchdown passes, anybody can.
That's exactly right. That's my thought also, especially in the quarterback position. There's about 25 quarterbacks that could be top 5 rankings for that week.
Yep.
And it's a freaking,
You got to pick right.
You do have to pick right because not every quarterback blows up every week. But God, these guys are throwing so many touchdown passes. I'm with you. I think it worked out good for both. I think they both benefited from it, just given the makeup of their rosters. I kind of like Jeff. I mean, Jeff's team is clearly stronger right now, and I think it fills out his starting roster better. John, what do you think?
At first glance, I thought that Jeff's love affair for the dolls clouded his mind. I thought maybe Tim had insinuated like maybe some nudes might be swapped.
I don't know if you can play that card. I mean, I think the obvious love affairs in this league are Trevor and Hartman, and
Definitely.
John Thompson and Tim Lang.
Yeah. Oh well, duh. I mean, duh. But Jeff moved to Bloomington for one reason and one reason only, and that was to be closer to his second family.
South Minneapolis.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So at first glance, I thought, Jeff, what have you done? I went back and I looked at it, and Jeff really didn't need, pieces are in place. He didn't need much. He just needed one person to fill out the roster, and Grieve needed multiple people, and Jeff had multiple people. Jared Goff looked nice. His value obviously went up after Thursday. Kenny Galladay could arguably be considered Detroit's number one receiver. Grieve needed that to replace. He's not going to get Julio Jones points.
I would question that, but your point is made that he's been solid.
Right, and he got Mark Ingram, which is what I'm not going to lie. Week 7 or 8, when Le'Veon Bell comes back, and Mark Ingram might be stealing a few of Alvin's touches, but whatever. And he's got Carlos Hyde in there who's playing well. That's going to be a nice combo when Le'Veon comes back. So I would actually say that Jeff probably won because he didn't have to give. He got the big name. He got the big name that he needed.
Yeah, I mean, you break it down, and to me, I mean, it's a bunch of matchup plays with the exception of Ingram and Julio Jones.
Yep.
Right.
Ingram leads the league in touchdowns last year, but is obviously the second horse in that stable.
Oh, there's no doubt now.
Julio Jones is going to catch, he's going to have 1,400 yards this year, is whether or not he has 2 touchdowns or 10. And you just don't know with him.
Yeah, I don't think 10.
Yeah, and I want to go on record. I'm not saying that Alyssa didn't make a good deal. Like, she's not getting robbed at all.
No.
She's being very aggressive.
She made a fair deal.
And I thought it was evident in the fact that when we were talking about it on Slack, different people had different opinions.
Yes,
I mean,
strongly, actually.
Yeah. I mean, so clearly it was fairly well balanced.
So strong, Jeff was scared to come on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, if you've got Trevor's support or you have Drew's support, who's would you rather have?
Oh, I'm going to take the defending champ in a heartbeat. I do love the fact that Jeff already cut Robbie Anderson and Jamison Crowder.
Yeah. Well, they're just pieces. I mean, especially in our league with short benches. I mean, those are guys that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I hope Jamison Crowder's a stud because I'm starting him this week.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, is that why the point spread diminished a little bit?
Sure did.
Okay.
So can I give a little background on this? How this all transpired?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's hear it.
So this deal, I wake up thinking about fantasy football, just so you know. It's part of my morning routine.
Let me guess, you woke up in the Dolls' bushes because you were staking out watching them.
This deal started in the works at 5:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. It took 5 hours of negotiating, deliberating. And Greaves, the Dolls, they are valiant and they are cordial. I'll say that they're good negotiators and they're fair. I tried to initially finagle for Gronk and was unable to do so. I admit I was being a little greedy because I felt like I could. I wasn't able to swing Gronk, so my thought process was, look, the first 2 games of the year, Goff was player ranked 15. He was average at best. The Vikings defense is so porous right now. Every quarterback that's played against the Vikings has looked tremendous. He had a good week. I sold high. I'm banking on essentially being able to replace a quarterback. There's some good ones on the waiver wire, or decent at least. And Derek is absolutely right. My wide receivers were not very good. That's because I spent all my money on running backs. Mind you, I lost Jerick McKinnon at the beginning of this year, so that was a big loss for me. So felt like I need to make a move. Sanders is already kind of starting to regress. Case Keenum's on pace for 12 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. He'll be lucky to keep his job at this point.
Yeah,
so,
nice stat.
Jeff needed a wide receiver. So if I didn't have to break up my running backs, I was willing to make a move, and that's how it happened. I've heard through the grapevine. Let me tell you, folks who don't like the wheel and deal, I'm going to tell you a little something. As king of the trade underground, okay, it's war zone out there. There's shit going on that you don't even know about. All right, trust no one. Okay? No one.
That underground that you're talking about has changed significantly over the last couple of years. It used
there is some stuff going on behind the scenes.
It used to be Hartman just throwing shit at the wall.
Yep.
Just constantly Hartman.
Stuck.
He
just
was involved
Hartman.
on this trade, by the way. He got started because he tried to Jew grieve out of Gronk and like his whole team.
That sounds like
that sounds about like
he tried to do that with me and Ertz, and it just
That's terrible.
And you know what that comes down to? Adam Hartman is scared. He is scared. That is okay. That is okay.
Shots fired.
Hey, did we ever cover? I mean, we've obviously talked about it a little bit, but did we cover the Stephon Diggs, James White, Melvin Gordon trade at all?
No, we wouldn't have. We would have thought the Gordon, Stephon Diggs, James White trade that John made. We talked about it a little bit in the recap of the week.
I don't even remember that happening.
You approved it.
John gave up Melvin Gordon. He got Stephon Diggs and James White in return.
Yeah.
It's worked for both players, really.
Right.
So far.
I think that one was less complicated.
Yep.
It was, but Jeff's story has inspired me to tell my story because Drew Vogt can eat an ass with a spoon. So Drew and I have, like Jeff said, this trading thing has become, I think in the past we were all pretty open, like, oh yeah, so-and-so offered me this and so-and-so offered me that. Now, like, we are just like, this is not Fort Knox, man. Nobody knows anything.
A lot of back channeling.
So Drew reaches out to me and he says, I want Melvin Gordon for Stephon Diggs. And I'm like, I need one more part to that. And I said, how about, I don't even remember who I said. And he's like, well, if I do that, I have to get so-and-so in return. And I said, nope, how about James White? He says, okay, that sounds good. So it's Monday night, the football game is still going, and he's like, are you going to accept it? And I'm like, I can't because the rosters are locked. So he's like, all right, I'll propose it tomorrow and accept it. Well, I wanted to wait and see how the waiver wire turned out because I wanted Calvin Ridley or Tyler Boyd. Sure. Obviously, I'd like to pair them with Diggs. Well, I lost out on both of them. So Drew texts me Wednesday morning, are you going to accept this trade? And I'm like, nah, you better go with your other option that you were working on. And he has the balls to come at me and go, well, that's pretty two-faced. I thought we were going to have a gentleman's agreement and make this happen. And I'm like, whoa, buddy. This is fantasy football. You don't have to come after my integrity. Like, good God. So I'm like, fine, I'll accept your stupid fucking trade. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, but before I accept it, you need to say you're sorry. He's like, sorry for what? I go, sorry for calling me two-faced, you asshole. Like, that hurt. And he's like, fine, sorry. So then we got it done. But fuck you, Drew. That hurt.
Hey, Maddie, I got one quick question.
Yeah.
How did it feel to get beat by a quarterback that you dropped?
It's the same situation with the quarterback. Phil Rivers probably deserves to start every week in this league.
Probably.
But I got $8 or $10. I spent just as much money on quarterbacks as anybody into the guy that led the league in passing in fantasy points at the quarterback position last year.
Yeah.
He's been terrible. Not that he's playing terrible, but they're just not using him. And so it's not like, I mean, it takes up, you don't have very many roster spots. And I've got, I'm gonna. It's not like I was gonna drop Russell Wilson. I mean, I needed to do something. I got holes to fill. I gotta take some shots on some handcuffs or something and hope that somebody gets hurt. And I need those roster spots to be able to do that. So.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, it sucked that happened. Yes.
Yeah.
And especially because Russell Wilson didn't do shit.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Week 5 previews.
Let's do it.
My matchup of the week is Two Girlies, One Cup versus the Peppy Kids. Both predicted for high scores.
Yeah, Phil especially. Phil is the favorite here by 3.5 points. over the number one power ranked team with a bullet here. And Phil sitting at number 6 today, but he's got some nice matchups, and Phil leads the series 4-1 all time. So, we'll see if he can keep that trend going. But I don't know how you bet against Jeff right now. To be totally honest.
Yeah, I gotta go with Jeff. I just good luck, Phil.
I'm gonna take Jeff also.
Phil, I love you. Go Hawks this weekend, but I got to go with Jeff. Phil doesn't have Jordan Howard available. He doesn't have Doug Baldwin. It looks like he's sitting Doug Baldwin. It doesn't seem like he's at full strength right now with Jordan Howard being out. So I'm gonna have to go with Jeff on this one.
Well, thank you, guys. I think it's going to be closer than what everybody thinks. I've got 4 guys questionable right now. So, again, and I threw all my chips in. I got no more moves. The proverbial cards are on the table. So, barring somebody not starting or playing, I mean, obviously I'm not going to pick against myself, but it'll be a good matchup. I think it'll be closer than what people think.
All right. Matchup number 2, Lords versus Heart Attack. It was a pick 'em earlier. It looks like it's -1 now.
Yeah.
Adam favored by a point.
Yeah, this is probably my best week so far in terms of matchups. I'm going to stick to my guns here that Russell Wilson is hugely disappointing. OBJ hugely disappointing. Davante Adams and the Packers offense pretty disappointing.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals offense, the worst offense in the freaking league.
Brutal.
With David Johnson.
Awful.
How the hell does that happen? Juju's been good, but I freaking missed his biggest point. So, I still think that I have horses. I feel a little bit like maybe Derek's team last year that just couldn't put it together early in the season. I think there's still some potential there. That being said, Hartman scored 140 points in back-to-back weeks, and he's rolling. But fuck him, he's probably going to suck this week, so I'll probably win.
All right.
I love it. I'm going with Matt because
Betting against
nobody likes seeing Adam win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Adam. I loved your picture today, by the way. Make America great again. But it's Matt, Adam is the Jimmy Johnson of fantasy football. And when I say that, I mean in NASCAR, everybody, even though Jimmy Johnson's a really nice guy, everybody doesn't like him because all he does is win all the freaking time.
Yep.
Or used to at least. So, Matt, take him down. I'm going with the Lords. I'm taking my heart over my brain. So.
Yeah, Dave said it this week in the recap. He is the heel.
He is. He's George Steinbrenner. He's Jimmy Johnson. He's that guy.
He's in wrestling. He's Triple H. He's
right.
every bad. He's Hollywood Hogan. He's every bad guy you've ever hated in wrestling and in sports. Yeah.
From what I hear on the black market, he's out there wheeling and dealing. Adam's scared. I think he's scared. And I will, unfortunately, not a bad guy, nothing against him. I will never pick him after losing to it by 1.5 points. 1.5 points. I will never vote for Adam. I'm sorry. Go Matt.
I'll say this about Adam. I don't think he's scared. He is always looking to rip the next guy off.
He is. The league has gotten stingier.
It has.
So he's been less successful.
Struggling, but that's always his goal.
Yep.
Good goal, but that's the reason he never talks to me in trade talks.
Yep.
It's true.
He never talks to me either. I've never traded with Hartman.
That being said, I think I got to pick him this week.
Mm.
The biggest spread of the week, breast implants versus Team of Ponte, max by 7.5.
Mm-hmm. The 3-1 breast implants against the 1-3 Team of Ponte.
Wow. Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I mean, seriously, when I think we all said there's no way the Dolls win one game. Like
when Bell was
they're horrible.
Decided
and
to
here they
hold out.
are. Here they are.
That's the worst. Sorry to bring it back to me, but it's all about me. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, good for you.
That's the worst thing about trying to mount a second half run for me. Is it's mostly divisional play.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff is the best team in the league.
Yep.
And Grieve is about to get Le'Veon Bell back, and he's already 3-1.
Yep.
So sucks to be me in that case.
But Gronk is was carted off the field, questionable, and going to be doing his usual week to week, miss a game here, miss a game there. So Greaves' team kind of cycles around Gronk. So if Gronk plays, I'm taking Grieve. If Gronk is out, I'm going Max.
I don't think
Gronk's
it works
playing
that way.
because the game started right now. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tom Brady is moving. Tom Brady is moving the Patriots right up the field.
All right.
All right.
Great.
Preston Pence it is.
I'm gonna take Max.
Hopefully James White stays out of the end zone. I am going to take Max as well. I don't know. I still don't think Greaves' team is that good.
No, it's not. Not without Le'Veon Bell. He's been fortunate. I'll say that.
I am going to go Grieve because double middle fingers to Max. I hope you don't win a game the rest of the year. So I'm going Grieve.
Well, all right then. Next matchup, Heartbreak Kid versus the Dumpster Fire. Dumpster Fire is favored by 2.5.
Drew's getting cocky. Ugh, no.
He is, and surprisingly, this is a what do you want to call him? It's the old powerhouse. It's the old school that for whatever reason, many reasons has not been there recently. Drew is 10-8 lifetime in this matchup, and 3-2 in the 12-team era. So I like Drew.
I'm watching the highlights or kind of monitoring the Colts-Patriots game right now. So far, Tom Brady has already connected with Julian Edelman twice on this drive already. He is also connected with Rob Gronkowski once. I think I got to go with my boy, who I'm going to see on Saturday. We have a Tim Lang sighting on Saturday.
He's alive?
Ooh,
he is alive.
Take a picture
I'll
for
take
us.
A picture.
Yeah, put it on
I'll
Slack.
take a picture and post it on Slack.
I don't even know what he looks like. I've never met him.
Says it all.
I'll get a picture of him. We'll post it on Slack. Make sure he's still alive and well. But I'm gonna go with my boy. Tim. He made the right move. He put Edelman in, and it looks like it might pay off. So.
Yeah, it was bold, but
I mean, he's already hit him twice, and it's the first drive. I mean, that just shows you how much Brady missed
they just
Edelman.
have that connection. I think I got to go with the Dumpster Fire. His squad doesn't look
James
that
White,
bad.
11 yards.
You got me all distracted now.
I'm sorry, I just said James White.
Oh, I
pass
know.
Complete,
oh, I know
yards.
what you said. Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, continue.
Drew, you said never again you're voting for Drew? Is that what I heard? He's too cocky?
Yeah, Jeff said that.
Or Jeff.
Jeff said that.
All right. Soup du jour versus the Big House. Trevor, currently favored?
This is a pick'em.
Pick'em now.
This is a pick'em, yeah.
It is a pick'em. Wow.
And Soup du jour 3-1 against the 0-4 Big Hoss. Another team low on the totem pole with some nice matchups.
Yeah.
In fact, you look at the power rankings, the top 3 guys in our power rankings, which we discussed, 1, 2A, 2B with a bullet, right?
Yep.
Underdogs by 6.5 points this week. The bottom 3 teams in the power rankings, and we'll call them 12D, 12F, and 11. And those 3 teams favored by 3 points this week. So, interesting scenario. I think I'm going to take tough one. I'm going to take Trevor.
It's always easy to bet against Dave.
Yeah. 11-11 all time in this matchup also, by the way. Trevor historically successful, Dave historically not. Been able to keep this matchup
dead heat.
Pretty close.
Jeff, who you got?
In case you guys haven't figured it out, I am slack shaming everyone who talked bad about me. So I am going to side with Soup on this one.
All right.
Did Trevor win last week?
He did with 93 points.
Yeah.
Has he won 2 in a row, or has he been every other? I can't remember.
No, he's 3-1. So by definition, he has won 2 in a row somehow.
He has won 2 in a row.
Yep.
Does that mean the roller coaster is on the downslope, or is he still just getting to the top?
Was it really on the upslope at 93 points?
Yeah, I mean he may have squeaked one out in the downslope.
So that might have been his downslope. I was watching that game and I texted him because obviously it defeated Max, and I was like, hell yes. So
Do you guys text and talk more than people know?
I do. Touchdown, Tom Brady to Cordero Patterson.
Wow.
Oh, that is a parents to any Patriot.
Out of all the people, oh my God. I'm gonna have to go with Trevor. He gets Devonta Freeman back.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe.
It's
questionable.
Maybe he's questionable right now. I'm gonna sorry, Dave. I mean, I know you got Alshon Jeffrey back, but I gotta go with Trevor.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Trevor too. I think it will be a close one. I don't think either team's very good. Last matchup of the week: Hughes Your Daddy versus Jeff Bottom Grieve Top.
What was that?
Jeff Bottom Grieve Top.
Oh, okay. Sorry, couldn't hear you.
John, favorite by 4.
Yeah, I think that's a myth. I don't think I'm really favored at all. I would definitely. I mean, you have Kansas City, man. You have some firepower. I know they're going against Jacksonville, but which I'm surprised you're benching Mahomes. What?
Leads the NFL in touchdowns.
Matt Ryan is on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's a game time decision.
Well, if you.
I can't wait for Derek to Jeff this and overthink it.
Oh, I will.
I know, right? He'll have Chris Carson's in, then he'll have.
I'll pick up a
because
guy.
he can't start Hines anymore. So
I know, right?
I gotta go with Derek. I like my team, but Derek has been putting up some serious points, and I just don't know if I can hang. So
I'm starting to think that you two are dating.
It might be.
We like it.
There's something going on there.
Are you gonna pick John?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm 0-2 in my last 2. I don't know who to start at quarterback. I don't feel good right now.
It's a bromance, man. I think we just established an on-air bromance.
Potential league-breaking trade alert.
I already tried that. He wouldn't give his players away, so we didn't do it.
No, we're not quite there yet.
We had it was a fair offer I gave you.
It was. I'm not saying it wasn't. I just didn't want it, especially now that I'm watching Tom Brady.
You see? There's that underground shit again. I told you. Yeah.
I'm just saying. Anyway, Matt, what are you doing?
I don't know. You guys disgust me with this picking each other thing.
I know. I want to bother those.
With Kansas City against Jacksonville, I'm taking John.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go with Derek. He's got a good team. Got quite a bit of firepower. So.
Jeff, I wasn't planning on making an enemy today, but game on.
You picked the same thing you did.
Yeah, but honestly, Matt, deep down in your heart, you've seen what my team's done the previous 3 weeks. Do you really trust my team? I still don't.
Derek has struggled the last 2 weeks, and all of his best players are against by far the best defense in the league. By far.
True.
Yep. Which is and Matt Ryan plays Pittsburgh, which is one of the reasons that
Matt Ryan can't beat good teams. I know he's on fire. I looked at that too, but
I don't care if they win.
The Steelers defense hasn't been bad, but it's like when the Twins play the Yankees. Even if the Yankees suck, the Twins can't beat the Yankees. Matt Ryan cannot beat teams like the Steelers.
I don't care.
He can't do it.
They can
I didn't
lose
realize
in a
how
shootout.
Your whole team faces every except for the Vikings, which is crazy.
That's why you're favored. My team.
You face the Jets, the Dolphins, and Jacksonville, and those are all 3 tough.
Yep, that's why you're favored. That's all for the Week 5 preview. It is Hate Week this week.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd or Rosedale on the line. Jeff, you're smiling. Why are you smiling?
My other sweetheart just got home. Sorry.
Oh, let's see her. Hey, baby. What's happening? Oh, yeah.
She is.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
He is adorable.
Oh, good for you.
First off, can I ask her 2 questions?
No. No.
One, you outpunted your coverage. Two,
Oh.
why would she pick you? I'm just throwing that out there.
Straight cash, homie.
Iowa. We're on to Iowa.
You're lucky it's Iowa that we're talking about.
It's true.
If this was Maryland, we would not be moving on to Maryland.
It would be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. True story. Well, let's do who's everybody got?
John, how do you live with yourself?
How do
You
I?
disgust me.
Very nicely,
How
comfortably.
dare you? I'll take the Gophers.
Sorry.
I don't know what's the line.
I don't know. It can't
Iowa
be good.
Iowa minus
It was-
20.
Honestly,
Hey, where's the game? Is
started
it
out,
at Iowa or?
No, it's at home.
Yeah.
It started out, I think, at like plus 2 or plus 3. I think it's moved since then to plus 6 or 7.
I'm surprised that's that close.
Heavy betting on Iowa.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that that's close.
I'm gonna go with the Hawkeyes. Sorry. Just it is what it is.
John,
-7, Iowa.
Yeah, there we go.
what is it? 7?
7 now.
7. I think we all know who I'm going with. The black and gold, baby. You gotta fight for Iowa.
I literally now we're going.
Drinks next time, John, at 7 at Gophers plus 7. You want to do that?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll take it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do it if I don't see you guys. We'll do it in Nebraska. Oh wait,
hell
that's
yeah.
right. Jeff's not gonna be in Nebraska because he's in love.
Oh.
I think the game goes one of two ways. I think it's either a tight, low-scoring affair, or Iowa absolutely curb stomps them.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of confidence, but I hate Iowa, so I'll put my money on the Gophers.
I also hate Iowa.
So,
That's fine. Hate
fingers
away,
crossed.
MFers. Hate away, because that pig is coming back to Iowa City. Woo!
No, you get no soundbar for that.
That's terrible.
Speaking
I
of the
can't wait
Nebraska
to
trip,
watch you guys cry next week. Oh, we got jobbed by the refs. Oh, we got so many young players.
Dave will be
we
back,
weren't
so he
ready.
probably will cry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too
Actually,
bad Dave's
Dave
not
will
here.
be the one crying about it.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's for sure.
Nebraska trip coming up.
Yes, sir.
Hotel booked, so it's official.
Yep,
We're going.
we're doing it.
Jeff, I'm gonna need to borrow some money. Just Venmo that to me.
Straight cash, homie.
Do we have tickets?
All right.
No, we have
Just
not bought tickets
forward
yet.
me
We
your
wanted to
address, I'll
wait
send you a check.
to find out officially how many people were going.
Okay,
But hotel rooms are going fast.
sure.
So get a room at least, get that established, and once we figure out exactly how many people are going, we buy tickets.
Cool.
So if you're going, let us know.
Yep. As soon as possible,
as soon
please.
as possible.
Yeah.
Vikings predictions this week.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Yeah.
I do. I can't. I think Green Bay, Philadelphia, Chicago, Detroit in that order.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
I also
I'm
went
with
the
New
same.
Orleans,
New
yeah.
Orleans is
I
both
don't
Chicago
like
and
New
Detroit
Orleans
for
a
me.
lot. Atlanta, still hold a grudge. They crushed my soul in '98. I can't get over it.
Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz with the week under his belt in Philadelphia. Our defense can't stop anybody. Wentz gets right. I think Eagles win.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Score? You got a score?
I'm going to go 31-28.
Okay. I was gonna see if I can get the line here quick.
Jeff, who you got?
I gotta agree with Matt.
I hate
At
the
Eagles,
fucking
our
Eagles,
defense is
man.
on its heels. We've got no run game. Kirk Cousins is doing a great job of hanging in there and keeping us in games, but we got to step up. So until the Vikings show me something, I'm going Eagles.
Myself, I'm usually a negative person. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win a shootout. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. Kirk Cousins is going to throw up for a lot of yards and several touchdowns.
How many pass attempts do you think?
50.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Drew Bledsoe 70 attempt type game.
I think it has to be. And it might have to be that way all year until he dies on the field.
His arm falls off and he just keels over.
But I got the Vikings at about a 42-38 sort of game.
Well, I'm just looking at some statistics for the Eagles, and to be honest, their run game is really good still. They have Fletcher Cox in the middle, followed by, I know there's a couple other guys, but he's their stud. So we're not going to be able to run the ball. It's going to be a shootout, like Derek says. Their passing defense is still bad. Jalen Mills, I've seen read articles that they're thinking about benching him or trying to figure out something to do with him because he is just awful.
Yep.
Kirk is going to throw for about 400 yards again. My heart says they're going to win. My brain says that it's Philadelphia. It's just too tough of a place to do it. I go with my heart. I think they're going to win it in a shootout, but it's going to be a close shootout. It's going to be like the Rams game. They're going to just be trading touchdowns back and forth. So 42-38.
That's exactly what.
Are you kidding me right
you guys are just right in sync. It's really cute.
Yeah, we're on it. I'm telling you, man. Well, if you could be a part of this, but you had to have the lovers getaway, which I totally understand.
Oh,
I totally get it, man.
The pieces are just falling in place. You guys play each other this week. You get to pick.
Yeah.
Each
I
other.
know it's like a match made in heaven or something.
So here's some Here's some hardcore stats. We're doing hardcore radio right now. Hardcore podcast.
All right.
Total
Hardcore,
yards
huh?
given up. They're 10th in the league. They give up 335 yards a game.
Who's that?
271 yards in passing, so
That's
they're
not the
19th.
Vikings.
They only give up 63.8 rushing yards.
That's
This is
fine.
the
We're not gonna run the
Eagles.
ball anyways.
Nope.
That's first in the NFL. They give up 20.3 points per game. That's tied for 9th. And they only, for third downs, 28.3% are converted. That's third in the NFL. Third in the NFL. Offense, because they had Nick Foles behind center, they're not looking so hot. So maybe some of these numbers are...
Do you know who terrifies me this week? The tight end combination of Ertz and Goddard. I think they're just
against Barr and Kendrick.
Yep.
On a wheel route, probably completely uncovered. Nobody around him for like 20
Mackenzie
yards.
Alexander was supposed to cover him, and he's just running wide open down the field.
I will gladly, if the Vikings get their asses whooped, I would gladly take 2 touchdowns from Zach Ertz. Gladly.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
All right, we got to go, guys.
All right,
Yeah, man. I got beer to brew tonight.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thanks for letting me be a guest presenter.
Yeah, we
best
needed
of
the
luck
input on the
everybody
trade.
in the week, and we'll watch the Slack boards for some feedback.
All right, boys, that wraps her up.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.